Yeah. Already he's on one.
Listen, Deion Sanders might become the coach of the Cowboys. Just when you thought my life couldn't be better. All right, Graziano is ready. These guys are here. Louis Riddick is up early with us this morning. We've got lots to get to, and let's begin with the final piece of the final 8 being put in place last night. Vikings and Rams, and obviously so much emotion in the building. Matthew Stafford and all the Rams honoring the first responders in Los Angeles. It was a special night in that regard, and then the game began, and it was just domination. Rams go from this being a game to this no longer being a game, and on they go. The Rams advance 27-9.
You talk about a team that said all week, we're built for this. That's exactly what you guys came out and did, man. Unbelievable. And all you guys did, you represented exactly what we wanted to be about, man. A city that's going through a lot of different stuff that can look to you guys and say, I'm proud of that group. We said it earlier this morning, all right? Pack your bags, we're going to Philly, man.
That's exactly where they are going. They will play the earlier of the 2 games on Sunday. It'll be a 3 o'clock Eastern time kick. And so let's start there. This game was one-sided in so many different ways. So now they go play the Eagles. These teams met earlier this season. Saquon ran all over that defense. What do the Rams have a shot to surprise the world on Sunday?
Well, they had an excellent game plan for this game. Ball it up and throw it out, because it's not going to work. The same defensive game plan is not going to work against the Eagles' offensive line in their rushing attack, in large part because they have a formidable rushing attack, and they're not going to sit Jalen Hurts in the pocket the way Sam Darnold was and ask him to pick apart a defense while they're outmatched up front. So I think it's possible. It's a long shot, though. The Eagles are probably the most talented team in football, and they keep it pretty simple. There's no scheme around that we're bigger, stronger, and better than you up front, which is the truth about the Eagles versus the Rams, probably.
And like you said, what the Eagles just showed last week in their first playoff game is the exact same game plan they're going to carry into this game, right? Be physical up front, run the ball behind that offensive line, explosive plays start through Saquon, and then you open it up to Smith, to Goddard, to A.J. Brown. But essentially, Minnesota is a one-dimensional football team. They expected Sam Darnold to go down there and pick this team apart. That is not going to be the Eagles' game plan. The Rams have a chance if they can put pressure and stop the run and then put pressure on Jalen Hurts, because they can be explosive offensively. But the Eagles' defense is legitimate as well. So it's going to be it's tough sledding for the Rams.
Stop the run is an interesting thing. If you look at the lower right-hand corner of your screen in the first meeting, Saquon Barkley
300
had 255 rushing yards in the first meeting. 2 of them came on really long runs.
70 and 77.
Yeah, but
stop those.
Not that I pay attention to the run game.
Yeah. So we'll see if he's able to dominate the second matchup the way he was able to dominate the first.
Not gonna work.
On we go. Yeah. So there's one of the big plays. So we've got that. That matchup is now set. The Rams season goes on, and again, they rep for their city yesterday. So many good storylines there. On the other side, the Minnesota Magic Carpet Ride came crashing down yesterday, and so it seems did this incredible time for Sam Darnold. 2 weeks ago, Sam Darnold was being hoisted on the shoulders of his teammates, and since then he's had 2 very bad weeks in a row. What did that mean? Our Troy Aikman addressed that on Monday Night Football last night.
These last 2 weeks will have a big impact on his future, not only what that may look like for the Minnesota Vikings, but a big impact on what that may look like for him going to another team. Is there going to be the big payout that looked inevitable a few weeks ago? May not be quite as big as what Sam or others thought. These are the games that matter. He knows that. Every quarterback that plays in this league knows that. And when you get into these games, that's what you're judged on.
And these were the 2 really big games. If you think back, it feels like a year ago, but it was that Sunday night in Detroit that we built up as maybe the biggest regular season game that we'd seen in memory, and now this one, and those are back-to-back tough performances. So Louis Riddick is our evaluator extraordinaire. What did these last 2 weeks say to you about Sam Darnold and his future?
That it's cloudy at best, Greeny, because look, the objective facts are this. Over the past 2 weeks, he's had QBRs of 17.4 and 13.6. That's where personnel departments are going to start. They're going to say, look, whoa, where all of a sudden, how all of a sudden did this fall off of a cliff. And then when you start peeling it back, they're going to start looking at the things that made Sam Darnold great this year. Primarily, his relationship with Kevin O'Connell, his relationship with Josh McCown, and their ability to provide this young man with answers that he's never had at this point in his career. Did he look like in particular last night that he had any answers? Look, to me, what it looked like was a guy who, quite honestly, looked shell-shocked, who wasn't quite sure of what he wanted to do with the football. I mean, that obviously is what leads to hesitation in holding the football in the pocket when you're not quite sure where to go with the football, on top of the fact that you're getting your head beaten because your offensive line is just getting destroyed. So now, when you're a prospective team looking at Sam Darnold, and you were someone who thought, hey, you know what, if he does hit the free agent market and Minnesota doesn't sign him, can we provide him with the same structure that Minnesota provided him with? Probably not now. I think now this throws a whole bunch of things into question for him, for Minnesota, and for every team that was looking at him as a prospective answer for 2025, which is not a good place to be in.
And so, Dan Graziano, we've got the Sam Darnold of it all. We also have the J.J. McCarthy of it all. We remind everybody the Vikings drafted him 10th overall. He was going to be their quarterback this year. He got hurt in training camp at some point. Anyway,
at some point, yes.
He got hurt in training camp, missed the entire season. Darnold had this terrific season. 2 weeks ago, we're talking about the Vikings trading away McCarthy. What are we talking about?
Exactly. Well played, sir.
I wasn't the only one.
I was too.
What are we talking about now?
I think, honestly, like, as much as this may muddy the situation for Sam Darnold, I think it clears it up for the Minnesota Vikings, right? I mean, like, you took this guy, McCarthy, 10th in the draft. He's got to be your quarterback of the future. You sign your star wide receiver for $36 million a year. Like, you're building your salary cap around the idea of a rookie contract, a first contract for a quarterback. To give Sam Darnold big money off of a big year would have forced them to change their plans in a lot of significant ways, not just moving on from a top 10 draft pick. So I think it becomes a lot easier after these last 2 weeks, as painful as they've been for Minnesota, to say goodbye to Sam Darnold and move on to McCarthy. And if McCarthy's not ready coming off his injury, you go ahead and you trust your coach, Kevin O'Connell, to do what he did this year with Darnold, to find somebody. I don't know if Daniel Jones is there, maybe it's somebody else that can get you and be your bridge to whatever McCarthy is when he's ready.
Just quickly on that, my point would be, you saw what O'Connell did with Cousins, you saw what he did with Darnold, you believe that his process is going to help McCarthy. If he's not there, find another backup that he can do the same to. Why a change? Even if Darnold, unless it's a Super Bowl, why a change? I think it does clear it up completely for the Vikings.
I don't know. Again, his entire team is carrying him on their shoulders in the locker room 2 weeks ago.
That's exciting.
It was suggesting they loved him, right? And I mean, I think we all sort of, it might have been going that direction. Okay, either way, we'll leave that there. We'll have much more on the playoffs as we go. But there was another story yesterday.
Something else you want to talk about?
To Dallas we go. Could Deion Sanders be in line to replace Mike McCarthy with the Cowboys? A source confirming to our Adam Schefter that Cowboys owner Jerry Jones and Sanders spoke yesterday. While an interview has not been scheduled, the two are expected to continue their dialogue. And Deion texted Schefter last night and said, quote, "To hear from Jerry Jones is truly delightful and it's intriguing. I love Jerry and believe in Jerry. After you hang up and process it and think about it, it's intriguing. But I love Boulder and everything there is about our team, the coaches, our student body, and the community." Schefter was on ESPN Radio early this morning.
Jerry checked in with Deion yesterday, and they'll continue talking. But I said to Deion last night, "So what's next?" And he said, "I don't know." So I think everything's really up in the air. Maybe that means talks intensify. Maybe it means they don't. I don't think he knows right now. And by the way, I think that's probably also true for the Dallas.
Xin chào tất cả các bạn đã đến với kênh YouTube của mình. Video ngày hôm nay mình sẽ lại đi tô màu những bức tranh con vật, động vật và những bức tranh phong cảnh gì đấy cho các bạn xem nha. Đây là những bức tranh mà mình đã tô màu xong rồi này các bạn ạ. Ở đây là trên bàn của mình còn rất nhiều những sản phẩm của mình đã chuẩn bị tô màu cho các bạn đây. Nhưng mà tô màu thì không thể thiếu được những hộp sáp màu này. Đây, những chiếc màu đài màu sắc này các bạn ơi. Và bây giờ các bạn hãy cùng theo dõi mình tô màu cho sản phẩm nha. Xin chào tất cả các bạn.
Mày lấy kia mày rót nước ngọt vào trên nhà. Rót nước ngọt vào một tí. Đi nhà. Có, bữa kia nó có chai nước ấy đi, rót đầy vào. Đó, rót một cốc này, rồi rót một chai. Uống đi. Vứt chai ra một kia.
Bữa cơm đấy.
Vứt chai đi. Uống hết đi, uống đi.
Câu hỏi khác. Đây. Các bạn hãy bảo mình hoàn thành rồi đây, video của mình đến đây là kết thúc nha.
Quên hết sạch, cái em chỉ phải cái áo của mình luôn. Nó đem lên ô tô rồi, thì chú lại đi hát cái quên cái. Không ra một sáu thằng này, 6 bài nào thì
Lúc ấy thì gọi điện ấy
ai nhớ đi nữa 3 cái gì mà.
Lão nhẹ rồi.
Là không đi.
Làm lắc nó nguy hiểm rồi. Chào tất cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục hướng dẫn các bạn làm vòng. Và hôm nay của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là cài ao. Các bạn, hôm nay vòng của mình là thung lũng. Bây giờ mình phải làm cô vì anh kẹo. Đâu kẹo đây, kẹo đây. Anh ơi, thì anh kẹo với năm không? Cô quá. Cô vì ăn thôi. Cô vì ăn. Ăn kẹo với năm này. Nó ăn ra để nó chơi với em thóc này. Đúng rồi. Đấy, em đang ngoan lắm, đúng không? Đang ngoan lắm, cô vì anh không nào. Đúng này, cô vì anh yêu sợ không? Vì đâu? Đi lên những người đây là cũng cho nó đâu chạy ở đến nhiều đẹp lắm, còn đẹp hơn. Đi đâu? Cô chợ đâu? Đi từ chiều đến mà. Chiều thì ăn uống chè. Hôm trước em đi ăn cả 6 giờ.